Hello, I'm EnterElysium and welcome to the Fortnightly Q&A where patrons ask me questions and then I answer them. There was a little bit of a gap between the last one and this one, mainly because I got busy and then my internet connection became awful. So I haven't been able to upload that. Well, I haven't uploaded loads of stuff, but it's all been the stuff that's been going out instantly. So I haven't had a chance to do this. So now I'm doing it, and I've got a load of questions to be asked because I had like a week's worth of questions to go, and that's a lot of questions. So should we get straight on? I have them printed out still because otherwise I forget. World War K3 is out now, and with that, some amazing new mods. Will you put together a mod pack for us to use? There's about 3 reasons why I won't do that. Firstly, modders own their mods, and I can't distribute them often without their permission. That seems to be the case for most mods. Some mods you can, some mods you can't distribute at all, and that way, like, my mod pack would have holes in it. Secondly, they're being updated all the time. I'd have to like keep up to date with all the mods and stuff, and it would become a lot of work. And thirdly, like whenever a version of KSP comes out, they all break asymmetrically, so some might break, some might not. Some might take ages to be updated, some might take not that long. It would take a very long time for me to do, and there's no point, especially considering CCAN. If you've not seen my mod light on it, it's the mod installer manager for KSP. It works really well. You can just go tick off the ones you want and then it'll install them and they'll all be up to date because they're separate and not a mod pack. So frankly, do that. I want to like Star Wars Rebels TV series, but I've been hurt before. Can you offer some advice? I haven't seen it. I have no idea what it is even. First I've heard about it. So I don't watch that much TV anymore. I haven't had a TV license at my flat since I moved in. Like, I just didn't bother. I was like, I'm not going to watch TV. It's mostly crap anyway. Like, if I want to watch something, there's the internet. Like, I have Netflix. Why do English-speaking YouTubers with non-American accents tend to be more popular than their American-accented counterparts? That's sort of true and sort of not true. If you look at, like, the top channels on YouTube, they're, like, nearly all American. I think they are nearly all American. I'm just thinking. Like, PewDiePie isn't. And there are a couple of others. And, like, there's a really good argument for why PewDiePie is really, really high up there. Like, he ultimately gets, like, because he moved and he's registered in Sweden and then he was in Italy and so on, but he speaks in English, he gets, like, super promotion to all the different language groups, whereas English YouTubers stay in the English clique. Because, you know, that's where it promotes them, because it knows, oh, you'll be able to speak English, this person's speaking English, we'll put you two together and you can watch their videos. Like, kind of like a weird dinner date. But I don't know about English YouTubers, like English-speaking YouTubers with non-American accents, like as opposed to American accents. Like, you get a lot of American YouTubers. They're all the big ones are American. I don't know what that is. Like, it could just be subconsciously, like, people around the world are slightly more, like, biased. I don't know. You'd have to do some sort of real survey thing to do that properly, like some sort of in-depth social study. What channels do you subscribe to? Anything really weird or random? Can't think of anything really weird or random that I subscribe to. The issue is, like, I've subscribed to so many channels by now, like, my subscription feed gives me, like, 2 channels, and I'm like, I don't watch either of those channels that much. Anything weird or random? No, all the things you kind of expect, like, you know, other strategy gamers, other space gamers, that sort of stuff. Weird or random? Lian Lai, she does really good anime covers in English. That's good. Do you think you'll be playing more EU4 once the new Eldorado DLC comes out, and have you considered playing Crusader Kings 2? Firstly, the Eldorado DLC, yes, hell yes, we'll be playing that. You can do custom nations, so I will be making the nation the Elysian Empire, and it will dominate the world. I don't know where we should start. I'm thinking Yorkshire, but I presume you'd have to replace the whole of England. I don't know how customizable it'll be. So, yeah, give me an idea where you want the Elysian Empire to start. That's an interesting one. But as for Crusader Kings 2, I do, but I have to get back into it. And I want to do a Crusader Kings into EU4, but having a look at the new EU4 custom thing that will be coming out with Eldorado, that just makes you go, oh, I'll do that. Because otherwise I would have created my own custom nation in CK2 and imported that into EU4, because you can do that. But now it's going to be in the Eldorado DLC, I'll just do it from the Eldorado DLC, considering, like, it'll be the new DLC, people want to see it, and I'll be like, that's what I want to do with it. So I don't know for CK2, maybe at some point, but I prefer a lot of things about EU4. EU4 is the newer game out of the two. It has a slightly better peace system, like you can take things, you can diplomatically and stuff like that. CK2 is good for a lot of things, but that peace system is like you go to war, you can have this one province. Unless you use, like, the pagan, like, casus bellis, like religious casus bellis and stuff, or tribe warfare, or whatever it's called, the one where it allows you, the hordes just to attack. Christian rules just go, I want that one province. And it's like, that was a big war for nothing. Well, for one province. Yeah, I mean, CK2 is good, but I don't know. Getting back into it after EU4 was going to be difficult for me. Where do you stand on the Great Firewall of Britain, and what about the new British and American bills to add backdoors to any encryption? Wow, let's start with the controversial political views. Not that controversial. The Great Firewall of Britain, stupid. Like, a lot of it is really stupid about what they're blocking. Some of it, pretty much every country has a firewall to a certain extent, and they will deregister certain websites, etc. And generally, no one complains about that, right? They're websites that obviously like, this is how to make a bomb and kill infidels, or something like that. Like, they are obviously websites that need to be censored. The Great Firewall of Britain, in a certain extent, where they go a little bit too far, and a lot of things about what they're filtering out and what they're trying to like suppress or whatever recently, particularly with the opt-out filters. Like, it shouldn't be opt-out. It shouldn't be opt-out of overbearing censorship. Like at one point they blocked League of Legends, which, you know, I'm not going to complain about. No, they blocked an update because it had something like something or other plural expansion or something, and the plural ended in S, and then expansion begins in EX, and it had the word sex in a file name, and it went, oh my god, there's a sex thing in this game, shut it down. Yeah, and they blocked LOL, which was funny because LOL. But there was a couple other things, like they blocked like domestic abuse websites and stuff for like help and for people, and sex education websites. It was like, what are you doing? No. Also, encryption. Really, really stupid. Like, you've all heard of identity theft. Where someone steals your identity. If there is no encryption, really easy to do, because then you can just get any data. Like, I'm not kidding. Any data. If you ban encryption, credit cards. Talking to my bank account. That's what happens if you ban all encryption. Like, society just doesn't work. Not to mention a right to privacy, like, you know, that as well. Do I have a license? Do I drive? If so, what do I drive? Yes, I have a license. It's a standard car license and light goods vehicle or whatever it is that you get in the UK. I think you get like a C and D class or something. I can't remember what it is. But yeah, I've got a license and I don't drive. Like, I don't have that much need to drive. I wouldn't drive all that far all the time, and it's fairly expensive. Like, I don't really... It would be like kind of a lot of money, and I'm like, I don't need to spend that right now. Maybe at some point in the future, maybe the next few months, I'll be like, actually, maybe possibly worth it, but at the moment, it's not really worth it for me, so I don't really drive. So yes, license, no to driving. When I pass away, will Sox become the next Elysium commander? Probably. At the moment, she's very fascinated by the snowstorm that's just suddenly hit. Oh, we have a snowstorm. She'd probably make a very poor commander. Either that, or she would like defect everyone to Exalt. Probably shouldn't die anytime soon. Are there any trends in the modern video game industry you dislike? Yes. Okay. Early access being abused and misused. Early access being used for products that are never going to come out. Early access being used for products where the company obviously has enough capital and doesn't need to do early access, and what they're effectively doing is A, wanting the money just early because, yeah, more money, woo, and also because they want to use it to drum up hype. Early access shouldn't be used that way. Early access does have its purposes, and it's great for a few things, like, you know, RimWorld, but it's obviously got massive flaws. Now going to the other end of the spectrum, because early access is meant to benefit indies, we go to the other end of the spectrum, look at AAA games. AAA games have become something which the studios pump money into to get a guaranteed payday. But the problem is, because they pump so much money into it to get a guaranteed payday, they're like, right, we're pumping a lot of money, make it a big game, and put loads of advertising, we know we'll get money back. But because they put in so much money, they've started to go, okay, well, let's not try anything too fancy, just make the same game again, or use the same mechanics, or don't do anything at all provocative. And then they're like, oh, well, the game isn't getting as much revenue this time around, mainly because we've made it 5 times and we're using the same mechanics and we aren't doing anything, you know, more generic with our storylines, etc. Let's put more money in to more publicity and bigger things. Yes, bigger things. oh wait, we've got so much money in this, we need to make sure our investment's better. Be even more secure about our investment. Don't do anything at all risky that hasn't been done before a million times. And you get this, they're basically being very protectionist about their investment, and then they're investing more money because they aren't making as much money, and it ends up with these really ballooning, like, profits. It's not profits, like expenses for single games, which is just silly. Also a lot of other things, like, you know, women protagonists. They're like, oh, no, we won't publish this if it has a woman as the main protagonist. No. Like, there are publishers who do that. Admittedly because the game sells less well, apparently, and they have good evidence for that, but it's still really weird. What's your favorite movie? I don't have one. Like, it depends on my mood. Like most of my favorite video game is like, I don't know. Do I want to play something mindless, like a shooter, or do I want to play something thinky, like, I was going to say KSP. I don't play KSP thinking. You've probably watched that already. You know that. XCOM, which you need brain power for. Like, I don't know. There are a load of good films, like Princess Bride, Lord of the Rings 1, Lord of the Rings 2, not mentioning The Hobbit. Oh my god, no. Lots of really good films. Like, I could never pick one. It'd be impossible. That's a terrible cop-out. Have I watched Tokyo Ghoul? No, no idea what it is. I probably will look it up afterwards. How often do you check games your subscribers suggest to you? Fairly often, but the problem is I don't often have time to play them, so it just depends. Like, it depends on how much time I have. I don't have that much time, which is annoying. I need to figure out how to better use my time. I'm working on that one. But yeah, it's really snowing outside. What do you do during your free time, even though that might not be much? Watch Netflix, really. Watch Netflix. Watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine at the moment and Star Trek Next Generation. Read books, reading some of the Culture series at the moment, reading a book on climate change, can't remember the name of it. And I can't remember, like, what else do I do during my free time? A lot of sleeping and a lot of eating, because that's mostly what my free time is. I used to do a few other things, but it's becoming harder and harder to do things now because, like, I'm out of university, and of course university is brilliant, by the way. If you want to try things at university, go ahead. Like, there are so many societies and clubs and stuff for all that kind of stuff. Just, yeah, brilliant time. But things are more expensive when you leave university, and also I happen to be in a town that's, well, technically a city, that's not a great deal of people in, so there's less things to do, really. It's why a lot of people move away. I'm really boring. What's your opinion on Enter Valent, and should there be more written? People who don't know, that is a fan fiction about me and someone from XCOM Enemy Unknown. The T-Empire is requesting a sequel. It was eye-opening. Someone's going to post that in the comments, aren't they? Yeah, not safe for work, I think. Oh dear. What's your next goal other than starting another channel on YouTube? Really, just starting the other channel on YouTube. I mean, like, I can't say get more subscribers because, to be fair, subscribers don't have a massive correlation to, like, you know, how well your channel's doing. They're sort of this ballpark figure that everyone else sees, and thus there is emphasis put on that when there shouldn't be. But getting 100,000 subscribers would be nice, but it's not really in my control. I just do what I do, and if I get subscribers, then awesome. Like, that's the way YouTube really works, which is nice, because it means I don't have to think about advertising or something like that, which normal businesses have to think about all the time. But getting 100,000 subscribers would be nice, but it's not really a goal that I'm, like, pushing towards myself. It's like a goal that just is happening, regardless of what I do, in effect. Well, that's not exactly true, but still. Second channel. I'd like to do more streaming and stuff, but I don't really have the time, and my internet connection is very poor. I'm looking into changing that. That's like a big goal of mine, is possibly getting better internet, but it'll be incredibly expensive and stuff, and businessy and stuff. But it'd be nice. Also means I can upload things in less than like 4 hours. Have you thought about maybe streaming more often? Wow, I just answered that in the last question. Really good timing. Yes, obviously I've thought about streaming more. I need more time, and I don't have that much time. Like, it's kind of... Ugh. Also, better internet would really help, because a lot of the time, it takes me time to upload videos. You're looking like every 20-minute videos about 3 and a bit hours at the moment. It used to be a little less, which means that to upload a day's worth of content, I need about 10 hours. I can stream once a week, cool. Getting a better internet would certainly help. That would allow me to stream more often, and it would allow me to stream at much higher quality, because currently the quality is just bearable, but it's not really bearable for high, like, you know, movement games or whatever. So certainly that'll help, but also I need to, you know, better manage my time, in effect. Like, I'm sure I could probably figure it out maybe, but I need to better manage my time. If the Elysian Empire is a democracy, then what party are the leader of, and what other parties do you compete against? I don't think I lead a party. I'd like to be in the second house of, like, expert scientists and stuff. Problem is I'm not qualified, like, to be in there. Like, I don't have a PhD. So I don't know. I would be in charge of the party that represents people, but is not a reactionary party, because that's one thing I really hate. You get reactionary, like, sentiment to something, like an event happens and everyone's like, this is terrible! We should do all the things! And then a week later people have forgotten. It's like, no, no, no. All the time there should be this middle ground that's the one you want, not the reactionary side and not the you've forgotten about the issue side. So probably the non-reactionary party, I don't know. What other parties are there? It depends. The Elysian Empire, as I foresee it, in terms of the metaphorical concept for, like, the channel, is kind of utopia, and therefore, I don't know, like, all the parties basically are pretty awesome. But in terms of World War K3 and the World War K universe, I kind of see the Elysian Empire as a kind of hypocritical, but still the best nation, but kind of hypocritical in that, like, yes, you shouldn't be doing this, other nations that we don't like. By the way, we totally are smuggling weapons, etc., as you saw in the first episode of World War K3. So there's two sort of levels there. There's the lol, I'm poking fun at real nations and stuff like that, and, you know, on the other side, there is my utopia that lives in my head and would never be real. Also, a real utopia would totally have me as a benevolent leader, because the most efficient type of government is a benevolent dictator. Most efficient type of government. Problem is, you need a dictator who is benevolent, who will stay benevolent. That never happens. We have trouble having, like, I was about to say, we have trouble getting benevolent leaders anyway. When's the last time we had one of those? Did you enjoy There's another question about the fanfiction. What? You guys love the fanfiction. I knew that. The proposed sequel, Valentine's Day. That is possibly the best name for a sequel. I have to give you that. Oh, and retain your luster. I like that. I like that. Stay shiny. Retain your luster. I like that. Totally gonna have to use it at some point. Stolen. Thank you. Seeing blah 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 blah. Which TV series am I currently missing out on, and which up-and-coming YouTube channels do you think I should take a look at? We had a very similar to one of this earlier. I don't watch that much TV, so in terms of TV shows you're missing out on, I don't really know what's currently on. In terms of anime, I would say, like, you know, Psychopaths was awesome. Season 2 is out currently. Problem is Season 2 not as good as Season 1. Apparently that's because the lead writer changed and all that. It's kind of like, I don't know. Brooklyn Nine-Nine is funny, which is I started watching yesterday when my friends put me onto it. Star Trek Next Generation, if you cherry pick the episodes. Stargate's pretty good, although it does look a bit dated now. I don't know. There were a lot of good options, but none of them I know of current. Like, I don't know anything about current TV. And what YouTube channels should I take a look at? There is a sidebar on my channel page, on, like, the... You're right. Also my right. Yes. Right. Where it has, like, my recommended channels or something. And there's a load of other channels that I watch as well. Like Veritasium, Crash Course, Vlogbrothers and stuff, like massive DFTVA fan. Some of those are brilliant. In terms of gaming, then, you know, like, anyone I've done a collab with pretty much, obviously, like, I'm obviously going to be like, yeah, they're awesome, because that's why I chose to do collabs with them. Other than the internet, do you like where I live? Rent's fairly expensive. Pretty much nothing goes on. It's a nice looking town. It's okay. Could be worse. Apparently one of the poorest regions in the whole of Europe. Although that's mainly, well, Western Europe. That's mainly because 9 out of the 10 poorest regions in Western Europe are in the UK. So, woohoo! Could another person make a World War K-like series on YouTube if they credit you for the idea? Sure, I don't have a monopoly on World War K-like series. The only issue I have is if people use the name World War K, and this is because like I initially didn't mind, like I was like, you know, I wouldn't mind it. And then I was like, wait a minute, what if like a neo-Nazi group started using the name of my series, and then it would get back, and then people would blame me? That's the problem. In terms of World War K-like series, yeah, anyone can do that. Go ahead. Like for a start, I have no legal claim to any sort of militarization in KSP. It was done before me to a certain extent, and it's definitely been done after me. And like I really, in realistic terms, don't mind at all. Like, sure, go ahead. Like, it's a free world, and if people were like, you know, you can't do this because I've tried something slightly similar, no one would ever do anything in the world. Like, I wouldn't have done World War K, I wouldn't have done Kerbal Space Program because someone had done Kerbal Space Program, etc. You get the idea. What camera do I use for these IRL videos? It's a Canon 600D. I'm reading off the camera now. Canon 600D. It might be like the Rebel TI something in America. You can find it by Googling. It's like about 400 quid, which in dollars is probably something like $400, knowing the exchange rate and actually how much stuff costs in America compared to here. It's basically the best low-end DSLR you can get for video. Pretty much all YouTubers who do like real like video in life stuff use a DSLR and use this DSLR. There, I can't speak. It's a good job I'm not doing videos today. How has your friends, family, and the like reacted to you doing YouTube as a career? Some understand it, some don't understand it. Some are like, wow, that's awesome. Yeah, it's like a massive variety. Like I had one friend, we were going to a friend's birthday party, and like he knew what I did, and he was like, when you introduce yourself, you just need to like say, like, I play games on the internet. And he was like, you should totally say that to everyone when you introduce yourself. I was like, okay. In terms of like other people, like my parents were a bit like, okay, not sure what this does, but okay. Yeah, it's weird. Like it gets like you get a massive range. Some people understand it, some people are like have no idea, and some people still have no idea after you explain it, and some people are like, that's awesome after you explain it, and it's very wide and varied. People in traditional sort of media jobs don't understand it at all, which is hilarious considering that YouTube to a certain extent is taking those things away from them, which is funny. What's your favorite game when I was young? Red Alert 2, Wacky Racers, Comet Busters or Asteroids or whatever it was called, where you had a little ship and you flew around and shot some asteroids. GoldenEye on the N64 and Pokemon Snap. Probably GoldenEye and Pokemon Snap, pretty good. I'm gonna go with those. I was wondering if you read any comic book series or graphic novels. If you are, what would you recommend? Comic books or graphic novels? I don't really read them. The main reason I never really got into graphic novels is because they were fairly expensive in terms of the content you'd get. Like you'd get maybe like an hour and a half worth of reading and lovely graphic novel picture-y stuff, and you'd be like paying like 10 quid or 15 quid or whatever. And I was never like, that's economically not really good value for entertainment. Like I know people love them and whatever, but like I couldn't really afford to spend that much money for that, like, and it's never really just got to me from that point of view. Like I'm always interested and intrigued, but then I'm like, yeah, but the money. Yeah, I mean you can probably argue the same thing about DVDs. If you say, oh, DVDs are £15 and you get like a 2-hour DVD. Though to be fair, I never buy DVDs when they're £10. I wait until they drop really in price. Like I never see movies when they come out. I always see them like really late on when the DVDs are like £5, maybe £7. A really good movie, I'll buy RRP, but that's because, you know, it's a really good movie. Like Lord of the Rings, I bought RRP. First, you're awesome. Woo! Thank you. Is that a question? Second, would you consider multiplayer with Patrons like you do with Twitch? Partly yay and partly nay. The issue there is, I don't have much time as it is, I've already said. Secondly, my internet's a bit dodgy. Thirdly, it might be difficult to find a game that all the Patreons can get into equally or whatever, and it can be hard organizing times, etc. It's something that's worth considering, and I have considered in the past. Like, the one thing I never wanted to do about Patreon, right? Patreon is supporting the YouTube channel. The Patreon shouldn't support itself, in effect. Like, I didn't want to do, like, merchandise that I'd give away for Patreon, because that takes a lot of time for me to, like, make them, like, get the merchandise made, get it back to me, get me to be able to send it to addresses, etc. That's like a lot of time, and in effect, that would be Patreon paying for itself, which in effect it shouldn't be doing. Like, the Patreon should be supporting the YouTube channel. And the gaming thing, like, does take some time, whether that's time I would spend on other things. Like, if I manage to manage my time better and manage to fiddle things around, then that's possible at some point. And it probably wouldn't be a regular thing. It'd be something like, let's do the thing. And then we would do the thing. I've been thinking about doing something like that. Like, we'll see. But it's something that I would like to do in future, especially if I can get a better internet and know I can be reliable and know that. Like, I can be like, yeah, I'm totally going to be there and not have any internet issues. Like, I don't normally have internet issues in online games. It tends to be when I'm doing, like, streaming and Skyping and all the things at the same time. That's when things break down. But we'll see. It's an idea for the future. It's a good idea. Will the board game night videos return? I don't know. That one's down to Quill. The issue is that a lot of people are busy right now. Like, I'm going to be fairly busy starting a second channel. A load of the guys, like Quill and so on, are going to Paradox event at some point around now? Or next month? I can't remember. Like, a lot of people are busy, so that kind of really depends on that. I nearly fell over and I was standing up. I'm really, really good at this whole standing up thing. Shh. But yeah, no, that entirely depends on that. I do enjoy them. They're fun, but they are fairly time consuming to, like, you can't do them in batches. You have to sit down and, like, do them all at one go. And for something like Battlestar Galactica, where you are, like, you know, you're gonna be sitting there, you're gonna be doing Battlestar Galactica for like 3 or 4 hours, probably more. It can be fairly draining, and you do need to find a large slot of time. That's the issue. Like, other games, it's not so bad. So we'll see. Yeah, that was Fortnightly Q&A. Hopefully I can stop using bits of paper when I manage to make a teleprompter thing. This is my animation for making things. I don't know if I'm making or milking a cow. But yeah, anyway, thank you very much for the Q&A. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for the support. We have had several milestones recently in the last few months. Like, we are over 90,000 subscribers. We are at 100 Patreons as of the time of recording this. We're over 100 subscribers on Twitch. And we are over like 1,000 videos on the channel. We are over, there are many things we're over. Frankly, that's all really crazy, like really crazy. I can't really, it doesn't register for me. I don't understand it. I don't understand a lot of these things. They are just big and they're abstract numbers. Like, you can't, like, people keep saying, oh, well, if you want to think about 100,000 people, just envision this stadium 5 times. Problem is, when you envision a stadium, you don't envision individual people. You see a sea of people. It's like looking at the sea and saying, oh, that's envisioning lots of atoms. Yes, technically it is, but what you're actually looking at is the sea. That's not how you, it's like not being able to see the trees for the forest. Like, I don't understand. I don't think I ever will understand. It's very hard to picture any more than like half a dozen people at once. And when you get to the scale of, oh, I put a video up and I know that like 10,000 people will watch it, or if it's World War K, 30,000 people will watch it. It's a little bit crazy, and let's not even get started on the very first video that's got like over 500,000 or whatever it is now. Like, that's wow. So what I think I'm saying is thank you very much for all the support. Whether you watch my videos on YouTube, whether you watch on Twitch, subscribe on Twitch, you're a Patreon, you follow me on Twitter, whatever. Like, thank you very much for the support, and I still don't think this is real on some level, but on another level I'm just like, cool, if it isn't, I want the stream to continue. I guess that makes sense in some way. Thank you very much. Over and over and over and again. Weird world. Retain your luster.